Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishubhanusuti Devi Pranamanusuti Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namaha Om Vishnupadaya Krishnaprasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshakare Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama Today is the auspicious appearance day of our beloved spiritual master, the founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami In Vaishnava Tantra, it is so emphatically said that Vaishnavira Kriya Mudra Vidyaniya Uchi. The appearance and activities of Lord Krishna is divine. But at the same time, the appearance and activities of this pure devotee, the Vaishnava, you cannot underestimate. The appearance of his pure devotee, Krishna does not reveal. The Shastra may reveal the realized souls in the producer acharyas, that may reveal. But Shastra only reveals only of Lord Shri Krishna, that he will come. In Kali Yuga, especially, there are no predictions. Because Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, discrepancies. Kalo dosha nidhera. Dosha nidhi. And there are no scheduled incarnations, even of Krishna. So what to speak empowered incarnations? Shakti Avesh in a Jiva Tattva, it is extremely difficult to understand. People don't believe even that Lord Radharani VEDAVYASAPRIYA even created these 4 Vedas and 4 Vedas into 182. They don't have belief. Even though it is written very emphatically that Radharani is an empowered incarnation of Krishna. But it's a Jiva Tattva. When a Jiva is empowered, it is very difficult for the ordinary people to understand the divinity in him, the activities he is performing for the benefit of mankind. It is extremely difficult. But nonetheless, we are given the hints by our producer acharyas. Soon there will be a personality to appear that who can take up the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to spread His holy name all around the world in every town and village. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted that soon there will be my Senapati. Senapati means is the commander, will appear. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also responded to that, and Nityananda Prabhu is the medium because he is the Adi Guru and who he is going to empower. There were so many disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj. But none was as outstanding as Srila Abhayacharana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He also went through Vaishnava etiquette to respect his predecessor, senior god brothers. He did not leave anything unpleasant with anybody, even though he has to face some unpleasant feeling. But Vaishnava is forgiving by nature, because he doesn't live or perform any activity for his own sake. Srila Prabhupada is an example, by the example of his life alone can inspire so many devotees to assist him. He is still inspiring, coming in the dream of so many unknown to Hare Krishna movement. And Prabhupada sells them the book, Bhagavad Gita, even in the dream. Prabhupada is spreading still the Krishna consciousness movement. There are so many incidents. We may call it miracle. Those who are intimate devotees, like from the very beginning, Mukunda Maharaj, Miracle on 22nd Avenue, he wrote. It was also a sort of miracle. But how devotees decipher their realization in meeting the Swami. Their experience, first-hand experience of the Swami, becomes our treasure for those who subsequently follow in the way. And this becomes a source of inspiration for continuation of ISKCON movement. Prabhupada predicted, if the same spirit is left, this will rule for next 10,000 years. He says, my books will be the standard textbooks for Krishna consciousness and to follow a religion. That is for next 10,000 years. And one of his early associates, the hippie, who is the hippie?
Oh, Allen Ginsberg?
Huh? Allen Ginsberg. Allen Ginsberg was questioning, how come, Prabhupada, you are telling that this movement will stay for next 10,000 years? He said, well, it is predicted in the Shastras. This is the simultaneous period of, Renaissance period of Bhakti movement in India. You can see simultaneously from the north, Guru Nanak, in Gujarat, Narsi Mehta, on UP area, Vallabha came a little later, but Suradas was there, and subsequently Tukaram was there. But in South India, he says, I didn't see any pure devotees who is imbued in love of Lord Krishna like the gopis. He did not find anybody in South India, because most of the South Indian diaspora are Vishnu worshipper, and they do not entertain into the higher rasas. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in Bengal. So Bengal, at that time, even Bangladesh is also one of the major portion that the movement took root. And still they follow the tradition. even under the hardship of these Muslim tyrants. They will always disturb. Few devotees were killed even in the last few months. So, but the idea is that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the Gaudadesh. Gaudadesh. That is before it was called Bengal. And there are beautiful relics. We are planning to go for a trip in December, but not this time. Let the, relationships be settled down, then some confidence will come in, then we'll go. But the idea is that Prabhupada is also coming from the same land. And same land during the time of Britishers was polluted by cholera, at the same time polluted by British interference. And many thinkers also got completely trapped in the Maya's seclusion, and they try to intermingle Christianity with Hinduism and vice versa. But they established very wrong precedent. The president was not approved by a major section, but still because of political reasons, they were flourishing. The history never lies. History will resurface to expose the political pressure. Just like in recent days also, 70 years of slavery under Congress government, the history of India was so much subjugated and preferential treatment to the Muslims were given just for the vote bank. Now it is getting exposed, so history will be rewritten. Repeated, it will be improved. All the lies will be exposed. So we call history repeats itself. How does it repeat? Because even every millennium this kind of things happen. And it is Kali Yuga, so happen. But this particular Kali Yuga, we have a benediction from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Prithvi te ache jata nagaradi gram sarvatra hoy prachar bhivavana. In every corner of this earth, planet earth, wherever there is a town or village, the holy name of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Preceding to Srila Prabhupada's arrival, Prabhupada's senior godbrothers all, they were in Berlin and London to preach. But they were more interested in inculcating Brahminical culture rather than Vaishnava culture. Because the Britishers were fond of becoming Brahmin, but not giving up any vice. And they would write to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, oh, it is extremely difficult to convert them because they don't want to give up, meat eating, illicit sex, gambling, and intoxication. So, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj even helped them to survive. He was sending money from India to Europe for their maintenance. These are his predecessors, godbrothers. Now, Srila Prabhupada goes penniless. At that time, Indira Gandhi's government were giving only 40 rupees of exchange into $8. That was the currency rate at that time. And Vrindavan Chandra Day, his younger son, tells that when I went to drop my father on the steamer, my father gave me that 40 rupees back. So virtually he was penniless. And he has very little thing in his possession to at least cross up. He did not, go with a big bundle of a ration even, mung dal and rice, and it was his meager. But he nonetheless celebrated Janmashtami on Jaladut when he crossed over the Suez Canal and meditated. But after that he got 2 heart attacks simultaneously when he entered into Atlantic Ocean. But Srila Prabhupada was so much intent on remaining faithful to his Guru and Krishna that he is going because my Guru must have seen the need in his divine vision, and that's why he gave me such an order. He did not budge, neither he ever forgot his Guru. He is always standing by my side. He will realize and say, we were never separated. So such a firm faith. Yasya deve para bhakti yatha deve tatha guru tasya hi kathitha hi arthyartham prakashante mahatma. If we have unflinching faith on our Guru and Krishna, then all the purpose of the spiritual perfection will be revealed. Prakashante mahatma. A person will become glorified simply on the strength of 2. Unflinching faith and order of the Guru and Lord Shri Krishna. That's about it. Prabhupada always said, I don't have any qualification or a credit even after establishing all this successful movement. If you want to give me credit, he says, then you should understand that I'm trying to follow the order of my spiritual master. He said to me, if you have money, print books and distribute. But print books means also distribute books and also make temples and also everything. And he did it so on the BBT money, 108 temples within 11 years. We are trying to make one temple and it takes how many years? And no BBT is going to give you funding. Mind your own business. Like that. So the idea is that the intent is very clear. And Srila Prabhupada wants us to understand. His biography, written by Srila Shasur Das Goswami Maharaj, he did a lot of research and collected all the data and collated and sequentialized date-wise as well as, in reference to context, a beautiful literature he presented. I would like to read in New York, in early days, Prabhupada wanted to establish, and the struggle of establishing 22nd Avenue, the first temple for matchless gift, is there. when he is dealing with the acid heads, amphetamine heads, LSD people, Swamiji had to teach that Krishna consciousness was beyond the revered LSD trip. Do you think taking LSD can produce ecstasy and higher consciousness? He was asked a storefront audience. Then just imagine a room full of LSD. Krishna consciousness is like that. Prabhupada said, you are getting high on LSD. And that kind of atmosphere can be created by the congregational chanting. So, people who regularly come and ask Swamiji's disciples, do you get high from this? What you are for? Chanting Hare Krishna. You get high? Yes, you are getting high every time. And the devotees was answer, oh yes, you can get high just by chanting, and why don't you try it? After all, your ultimate business is to remain in high, whether with LSD, but without LSD also it is possible. So probably the most famous experiment with the LSD in those days were by Timothy Leary and Richard Alpert. Harvard psychology instructors who studied the effect of the drug published their findings in professional journals and advocated the use of LSD for self-realization and fulfillment. They are writing such articles in medical journals of psychology that you should use LSD. They are recommending usage of LSD, that it should be used for self-realization and fulfillment. After being fired from the Harvard, Timothy Leary went to become a national priest of LSD. And for some time, he ran an LSD commune in Millbrook, New York. When the members of Millbrook commune heard about the Swami on the Lower East Side, who led his followers in a chant that got you high, they began visiting the storefront. One night, a group of about 10 hippies from Millbrook came to Swamiji's Kirtan. They all chanted not so much in worship of Krishna as to see what kind of high the chanting could produce. And after the lecture, a Millbrook leader asked about the drugs. Prabhupada replied that drugs were not necessary in spiritual life, that they could not produce spiritual consciousness, and that all drugs-induced religious visions were simply hallucinations. To realize God was not so easy or cheap that one could do it just by taking a pill or smoking. Chanting Hare Krishna, he explained, was a purifying process to uncover one's pure consciousness. Taking drugs would increase the covering and bar one from the self-realization. But have you ever taken LSD? The question now became a challenge. That hippie is asking Prabhupada, did you ever try LSD? No, Swamiji replied, I have never taken any of these things, not even cigarette or tea. If you haven't taken it, how can you say what it is? The Millbrookers looked around, smiling. 2 or 3 even burst out with laughter. And they snapped their fingers, thinking that Swami has been checkmated. I have not taken, Swamiji replied regally from his dais.
But my disciples have taken all these things. Huh? Marijuana, LSD, many times they have given them up. And they have given them up, all up. Can you hear from them? Huh? Yeah, I agree. You can speak. And Hare set up a little and spoke out in the stentorian best. Well, no matter how high you go on LSD, you eventually reach a peak and then you have to come back down. Just like traveling in outer space in a rocket ship, he gave one of the Swamiji's familiar example. Your spacecraft can travel very far away from the Earth for thousands of miles, day after day, but it cannot simply go on traveling and traveling. Eventually it must land. On LSD we experience going up, but we always have to come down again. That is not spiritual consciousness. When you actually attain spiritual or Krishna consciousness, you stay high because you go to Krishna and you don't have to come down. You can stay high forever. Swamiji was sitting in his back room with Hare and Umapati and other disciples. The evening meeting has just ended and the visitors from Millbrook had gone. Krishna consciousness is so nice, Swamiji, Umapati spoke up. You can just get higher and higher and you don't come down. Swamiji smiled. Yes, that's right. No more coming down, Umapati said, laughing, and others also began to laugh. Some clapped their hands, repeating, no more coming down. The conversation inspired Hare and Umapati to produce a new handbill. Stay high forever. This is an advertisement. No more coming down. Practice Krishna consciousness. Expand your consciousness by practicing the transcendental sound vibration. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. This leaflet went on to extol Krishna consciousness over any other high. It included phrases like end of all bring downs and turn on, and it spoke against employing artificially induced method of self-realization and expanded consciousness. Someone objected to this flyer playing too much of the hippie mentality, but Swamiji said it was all right. So Prabhupada is so confident that this counterculture produced by the hippies is to be uncountered. So Timothy Leary and others were very much initial, admirer also, but they went on their own because they wanted money after all, and selling drugs is the only resource. But Hare Krishna and Counterculture was written by the famous author
Jonah Stilson?
Who?
Judah Stilson?
Stilton Judah?
Yeah, is that Stilson?
Yeah, he was the first one to write. Then Larry Shane was also involved in that. In '87, I took Radhanath Swami to Larry Shane's home in Pennsylvania. I drove him. But it was a funny experience anyway. Radhanath Swami went for some serious consultation, but
J. Stilson Judah.
huh?
J. Stilson, Judah. Yeah.
Stilton, Judah. Stilton, Judah was Professor Emeritus at Berkeley University. But he was the great man who told about Bhagavad Gita as it is, that Swami Bhaktivedanta's commentary is coming very close to its original meaning, Krishna intended. I mean, how much scrutinizingly he is referring. But intellectual appreciation was given by them and full support. So Srila Prabhupada was very bold enough to present and counter any adverse situation in a very smiling face. Many challenges would come, and in such an open and naked society, even there were a lot of disturbance created by such people. But how Prabhupada not only tolerated but proactively, there will not be any stay for ever. So, this is only a little glimpse on Srila Prabhupada's early days of actually the tough times. But he was preparing. Himself. It gives us also very good enthusiasm to take risk for Krishna. We should take risk. Calculated risk is generally we try to think. We need to take a calculated. It's like an investment, money, time, family relationship. You have to negotiate with everything. And you will not be able to come to the compromise. Then how are you going to take a calculated risk? But Prabhupada says, devotee is ready. Devotee is ready to take all the risk to spread Krishna consciousness. We are getting ready-made prasadam, plate, but we have to cook. Similarly, every activity we have to perform in order to be accepted by Lord Shri Krishna. Every year we write glorification of Srila Prabhupada on this day. And for his disciples who are engaged in Krishna consciousness, they are also supposed to, I don't have juice. But nonetheless, it is very customary since the very beginning. The devotees were writing their offerings. Do you have tribute of this year?
I don't have my tribute, but we were all prepared. There was something to say, a few words.
Right. Anybody got?
Maharaj, do you want me to get the plug in for this? I can plug you in here.
There's a plug. Okay.
I think we should. If I know where the plug is.
Mine is out there.
It's out here? We have a plug here.
You should also receive tribute book every year.
Yasapuj.
हमारे चार्जर पर क्या हंसे ने? So he doesn't have a charger.
Oh, okay.
There is no subscription. Anybody can write eulogy to Srila Prabhupada, according to their, because he's the main source of inspiration. For next 10,000 years, his books are the basis. So Krishna consciousness will survive. And it is for his followers. All right? Book distribution is for expanding the culture of Krishna consciousness. And then we see all the upgrading of our lives into a Brahminical system, which is supposed to be the head and direction giving. And the third thing is, it is so beneficial that simply by chanting, anybody can be considered a Vaishnava. Haridas Thakur says, even if you chant only once, you are a Vaishnava. And that will start fructifying in due course of time. So, understanding the nature of the potency, it is all invested in the holy name. And what a risk to spread it all over. It is free, and yet it is risky. Yes, because there are many, many disbelievers. So how to counteract them? You are loaded with the scriptural realizations. And they come in very handy. Srila Prabhupada never set a foot outside India till 1965, right? But he had some exposure to the British Raj and the atrocities that they were creating in Calcutta area especially. But his spiritual master is more acquainted, and he had confronted even the Haribol. Okay. Bring it over here.
The whole gate. Is required. Yes?
Yeah? You have an extension cord?
No, but if I. Oh, we do. Yes. Thank you, Guruji.
Let's check connection.
Nothing yet? Let's try the top.
Yeah. Okay. I want to read about meaning of Vyasa Puja. They changed the format a little bit. But anyway, let's see the introduction. All of Srila Prabhupada's disciples are welcome to write an offering for this yearly book, regardless of their personal history, present circumstances, personal views, or institutional affiliation. The book provides an opportunity for all of Srila Prabhupada's direct disciples to express their realization, reflections, and gratitude, for other devotees to read and reflect upon what these disciples have expressed. Following tradition Vaishnava etiquette, we have placed the offerings from the sannyasis first, and then those from the Srila Prabhupada's other disciples, all in order of seniority by intuition. In the back of the book, you will find an index of all the contributors of the alphabetical order. When the book comes out each year, we welcome you to start reading from it, and as soon as you receive it, ahead of the day of Srila Prabhupada, so you can finish. So that way the book can help to fill your mind with the thoughts of Srila Prabhupada and his devotees as the sacred day of Vyasa Puja draws near. And later, the book can serve as a source of memories, insight, inspiration, and history, preserving the words of those who wrote it. That is the idea. So if you are Prabhupada's direct disciple, but haven't been included in this year's book, we warmly invite you to send an offering for the next year. But increase. This is the way to reach out where the devotees are even hiding. They will come in love light. Okay? Meaning of Vyasa Puja means honoring the position of our Guru, who is the representative of Srila Vyasadeva. In India, generally the customary celebration of Guru Purnima is there. But they claim it is for all kinds of gurus. And Prabhupada said, we are not interested. And they don't have a system for glorification of their own guru. It's a hodgepodge. You simply believe, today is Guru Purnima. But in Vrindavan area, especially, Guru Purnima is celebrated Muriya Purnima. Muriya Baba was the local name for Srila Sanatana Goswami the first and foremost disciple of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Chant.
He always keep himself shaved, and in Mathura, there's a Chakleshwar Mahadev, and it is his bhajan kutir. He would do this bhajan, but he will greet all the Brijvasis who come there, and he was very popular in the entire Braja district. So when Sanatana Goswami passed away on this particular day called Mudiya Purnima, it comes in June, July itself. And on that day, every Brijvasi shaved up in his honor. Every Brijvasi. So Mudiya means the Mundan. The Mudiya Baba is Sanatana Goswami, and Mudiya Purnima is observed. And they come to do parikrama in millions. Vrindavan is overcrowded. Vrindavan needs only any excuse of spiritual nature and people will come. Any excuse. That is the spirit of Brajavasis, Brajavasi spirit. So, let me read one of the editors, Sri Jayaditya Goswami, a BBT editor. He writes this year's Vyasa Puja offering to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya. The mantra sound reveal the highest truth. Let's speak of its revealer Prabhupada. His wisdom, joy, compassion, gravity, his ways of showing Krishna true and real, his fortitude, his vigilant defense of Godhead, stubborn Mayavadi smashed. Reductionist speculators smashed. Illusion welfare workers hung to dry. Big karmis all deflated, jnanis screwed up. Exalted yogis, munis, bhakti smashed. It's little poetic. Pretentious goodness, useless passion, bah. He drives them out of the leaves and not half an inch. For dreary, dull and crazy ignorance. He brings us to the transcendental plane, surpassing senses, mind, intelligence, surpassing ego, bringing us to the glimpse, the world of Krishna, world of purest love, where goddesses of fortune serve the Lord. Govinda, the first and ultimate enjoyer, beneath the trees that grant all one's desires, forever blissful service to the Lord, where all the land is made of spiritual gems, where all the water nectar speech a song, all walking dances, and Krishna plays his flute. He cherished friends, in that effulgent world of bliss, that highest place, most relishable of all, in that Vaikuntha, Vrindavan, Krishna's countless cows gives ocean of divinely flowing milk, milk showering love of Krishna on the soul, and time stands still, not half a moment lost. For in that place, Goloka Svetadvipa, adored by Krishna's purest devotees, each moment lasts forever. That's a place known here but to a few most blessed souls. Delighting even such enlightened souls, one most empowered kindly came for us to bring Chaitanya's message come down, to rescue us from Maya's painful grip and her last snare of oneness and void. Transcending times and space, he came for us, our teacher, master, savior, Prabhupada. He gathers Krishna's mercy like a cloud and pours it raining down upon our heads, in torrents raining down and raining down, extinguishing the fire of birth and death. He brought us Krishna's name and form and traits. He taught us how to sing and chant and dance. He brought us Krishna's pastimes and disclosed the science of devotion as detailed within the books, the Gita, Bhagavatam, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the books. He gave us temples there to serve the Lord and gave us prasadam, joyful to our taste. He gave us Radha and Krishna's sacred love. To him, to Prabhupada, we owe our life. Lord Krishna sent his messenger to show the way back home. Let's take it the way and go. Jayadeva Swami was initiated on 1968, March 26, 2nd Avenue, New York, USA. His current location is USA, UK, Middle East, Africa, India. So I would like to offer my homage to Srila Prabhupada. Must be related to some corona stuff. Okay. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my timely obeisances hundreds of times at your lotus feet. All glories to your divine grace on this occasion of your divine appearance to invoke and establish eternal relationship to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So the people in general all around the globe will be happy perpetually. I am begging you to pass on the same perseverance and enthusiasm to me, so I can relish the transcendental satisfaction by serving you and Lord Shri Krishna. With the blessings of my superiors, I have embarked on a project in Thailand at an advanced age of 78 years. That was unfulfilled for last 25 years. I am begging your mercy because you are all merciful and extremely tolerant for our conditioning in this material world. Yet I am willing to be an instrument in your divine hands. As we were confined in dangerous corona times, we opened up the worldwide preaching through Zoom classes, the best service we could offer to your pleasure, and benefited the reading your books without any excuse or lack of time, etc., as an alibi. This was the major effort to please you. When we had to shut down the deity doors, we felt at times despondent and morose and maybe sentimental too. But your practical wit and Krishna conscious applications during this adverse time was well guided and maneuvered by our esteemed governing body commission under your practical command. The only credit to the devotees was that they became more intensified in devotion for you and your gift of preaching Krishna consciousness. Thus, everyone in our spiritual family was well protected to perform more vigorous preaching now. Even though we lost several staunch soldiers, yet their spirit of contribution and spiritual welfare of the devotees was the beacon of inspiration and dedication for your pleasure. We were assured that your divine grace called them up in your further services. Surely, when my time will be up here, please, I beg you to pull me out from here and place me wherever you want me to be in your divine services. Your sincerely will. Yeah. Now what? Aarti?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Guru Puja.
You are big back, you see?
Sankirtana